We're going to check in with David Clark. I want to make sure, Eric, turn on the phone line here too, or no? Yes. Hey, David, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, what's going on?
Nice hat to wear today.
Good morning.
Pretty easy to put that hat on today, huh?
Well, you know, I wear this hat all the time. I'm from Alabama.
Well, it's a good day to have it
No
on,
joke.
though. It's a good day to have
Yes,
it
it
on,
is.
isn't it?
Oh, timing was great. Timing was great.
What'd you think of the Browns game yesterday?
Well, I thought it was a very good game. The Browns showed some competitiveness, but there were so many bad calls that really hurt the Browns yesterday.
What do you think about the Browns as far as the season right now, too, David? Because, it doesn't hurt them if they lose. I hate to say it, it almost helps them when they lose. Now, at this point.
It won't hurt them if they lose. That's correct.
So, do you think they're growing? Do you think they're heading in the right direction? What do you think?
They are growing, yes, absolutely. They're definitely headed in the right direction. They need to stay focused and keep the ship rolling.
It's kind of a tease when you see the team play like they did, is it not, David? You're so jacked up, you're thinking they're going to beat a really good team on the road. To have it all unravel, and then you're still dealing with a team that's won 4 football games and missed a lot of opportunities.
A lot of missed opportunities. You're right, I was jacked up, and I was talking to a good friend of mine that I'm having breakfast with this morning right here at Slyman's in Cleveland, Ohio, and we said the same thing, man. The Browns going to win this game, and it just unraveled. He kept texting me and saying, hey, they're falling apart. It's unraveling. And he was right, it did.
All right, let's get to your love. Let's talk about Auburn for a second. Will they roll Florida State? I think they will.
Yes, I do too. They will win.
There's something about winning national championship, and you need a little bit of magic. And they've had all the magic, especially in 2 games where they easily could have slipped away, especially when you go to the Iron Bowl and come back and come up with that big win at the end. So I think a lot of people are rooting for Auburn around here.
I believe you're correct. That game when they played Alabama in that Iron Bowl, that was magic.
Hey, so who's your friend that you're having breakfast with that you're texting with? Can we meet him? Can we see him? Does he want to be known? Or is he...
Yes, you can meet my good friend that I'm having breakfast with, my good friend's brother, Glenn Douglas Sr., Esquire.
Esquire.
Can we get his opinion on the game yesterday? Can you hand him the phone? Get his opinion?
Yes, I will give him the phone. I will let you get his opinion.
All right.
Hold on 1 second. My good brother, they want your opinion on that game.
Hey, Glenn, how are you doing? How are you this morning?
Oh, great. Just doing outstanding.
You're doing outstanding. What is David picking up the bill? That's the first question. Who's paying for breakfast?
What are we having?
No, who's paying for it? You better make sure he pays for it.
I think I'm going to get my arm twisted this morning, but that's all right. I got 2 of them. I can sacrifice one.
No, Glenn. He pays for it. Auburn's going to the national championship. You make the Tiger pay for it and let him know that.
All right. He said you paying this morning. I appreciate that. Thanks for looking out. Yeah.
Hey, what'd you think of the Browns yesterday? Did you watch the game?
The Browns game was nice yesterday. I told my brother early on in the game when they scored that touchdown and went for them 2 points, I said that play is going to come back to haunt them. And it did exactly that. Plus, I think there was some bad calls going on. One of them in particular was in the end zone when they got that 15-yard penalty that had set up that onside kick go forward. But they did a decent job. Jason Campbell did an outstanding job and so forth. So they're coming along. They're doing well. I'm going to support them. I'm going to talk about them a little bit, but I'm still going to support them. Cleveland has some of the best fans in the world for all of their teams.
Glenn, how frustrating, though, to have that game and have the officials make the calls that they did to kind of set things in motion and have it spiral right out of control in front of us into another loss.
Yeah, well, it happens like that sometimes, So I can guarantee you that none of my money go to the referees to make some of those calls, that's for sure.
Glenn, thank you. Are you an Army man?
I'm sorry?
Are you an Army man, or are you just wearing the hat?
Well, my son is stationed in Fort Benning, Georgia, currently.
Gotcha. Tell your son thank you for his service and for
Absolutely.
keeping my family safe.
All righty. You have yourself a happy holiday, a pleasant and a safe one, and thank you.
You too. Tell
You too,
David we
Glenn.
said thank you too. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
You got to get their
Thanks,
sizes. You got to get the sizes
Oh.
from. Tell our photographer there, Paul, your shirt sizes and your addresses so we can send you both Dogs on the Run T-shirts.
Absolutely. We'll do just that. Have
Okay.
yourself a fine day. Be
You
safe.
too, Glenn.
Thank you very much. I love
Awesome.
Bye now.
I do.
Isn't
I love
it great going over Slime?
I love it.
Just get to talk to people and see what they think of the game. And
That's the pulse of Cleveland. I'm sorry. You and I can sit here and break it down from a professional level, but until you go to a place like that where people, that is on the mind and the tongue of every single Clevelander today, is the way that game ended yesterday. Guaranteed.
Eric, what are we doing here? What's the scoop? Is Lodi in today this morning? Because we want to talk some Steelers.
Lodi's got a doctor's appointment, so like,
all
he's
right.
on.
Yeah,
Lodi's
they're
out.
checking to see if that surgically removed foot from Antonio Brown is still stuck to the sideline.
All right.
At the end of
Kenny,
that game.
so we're going to
Steelers.
Kenny, you're
I'll
going
tell
to
you
play.
about the Steelers. What do you need to know, guys?
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
said. Kenny, you're going to be the Steeler guy today, all right?
Analyst.
All right, you're our Steelers analyst today.
Kenny,
All right,
what
what do you
hurts
wanna know?
more? What hurts more if you're a Browns fan and that game ended the way it did, or if you're a Steelers fan and you're thinking you're getting a game-winning lateral for a touchdown and a heels on steps out of bounds at the 13-yard line? What hurts more?
The Steelers game hurts more because they still had a chance of making the playoffs. That game right there yesterday with that play, him stepping out of bounds, ends their playoff hopes. They're done. I didn't think they were making the playoffs from the beginning of the season. So to me, it's not a surprise, but there were some that felt that they still had a chance. And if they could just get in, they could do some damage. They weren't going to do any damage. And it was better to put them out of their misery yesterday with a call like that so they can, not worry about the playoffs anymore. And, as I've said all these years in Cleveland, if you're not winning the championship, you want a better draft pick, a higher draft pick. Well, the Steelers are going to get that. They need that draft pick because they're getting old, long in the tooth. The Browns are catching them. The Bengals and the Ravens have passed them. So they need a higher draft situation to better that football team right now because the Browns are coming hard and the Steelers are getting old and they're dropping. They've got about 7 key guys that are over 31 years old.
All right, let's head out to Baltimore, and we check in with Garrett Downing from Ravens.com. Where are you right now?
I'm at home. I see people here in Baltimore when there's a little snow on the ground. People here go all crazy. So it's not like in Cleveland where you just clear the roads and everybody gets in. A little snow. Now we're on a little bit of a delay at work, so I'm coming from home this morning.
So wait, you have a delay at Ravens Central over there because there's a little bit.
Yeah,
of
it's
snow
not
on
an
the ground?
official delay, but they let us go. They let the roads get cleared. Then we'll be in a little bit later this morning.
Yeah,
Wow, how
I
about
lived there
that?
for quite a while. I know what you're talking about, brother. I mean, all it is, they could say snow. You won't find a toilet paper roll for miles. So if there's a snowstorm coming, the minute you hear that on television, you're out the door and you're buying your toilet paper and your bread because you won't find that and any sniff of milk within a 5-mile radius of your house.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was a couple inches of snow or Armageddon hitting. I don't know which one it was.
All right, crazy day for the Ravens yesterday. They pull off the win. Let's talk a little bit about that game.
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly one of the craziest games I've ever seen, and I've seen some crazy ones here. I saw the game in Denver last year, the Mile High Miracle. I saw the Hey Diddle Diddle, Ray Rice up the middle play, and then, of course, the Super Bowl. You'd put those all in that category. But yesterday, there were 5 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes and 5 seconds. I thought when they scored one of those touchdowns, the game was over, and then there were 4 more touchdowns after that. And they all came from different ways. There was a kick return. There was a screen pass that went for a touchdown. There was a 40-yard run. Then the Ravens drove all the way down the field at the end and went on a 9-yard touchdown pass. So this is a huge win for them. They've won 3 straight games. They swept a 3-game homestand. Now they're 7-6. They're in the playoffs right now, so they control their own destiny. They have a tough 3-game stretch coming up starting on Monday night this week against the Detroit Lions. But this is huge. I mean, this is just an absolutely huge win for them.
Yeah, I think they put themselves right in the place they want to be, and I would not want to face the Ravens in the playoffs, not at all, because when it's the second season, that's going to be a completely different type team.
Yeah, I mean, they showed last year. All you got to do is get in, and then anything can happen. It doesn't look like they're going to catch the Bengals. The Bengals have a 2-game lead with 3 to play, so it doesn't look like they're going to catch the Bengals. But in reality, that could actually help the Ravens because if they play the Bengals the last week of the season, so if they go into Cincinnati and Cincinnati doesn't need to win that game, they could end up resting some starters, and then the Ravens may benefit from that. That's looking far ahead here, but yeah, like you said, Mike, if you get in the playoffs, anything can happen.
And that's going to
what
be
the
your
Ravens showed
first-round
last year.
matchup.
They weren't the best team going into the playoffs last year, but they got hot at the right time. This team seems like it's getting hot right now, especially with that win yesterday. There were 3 times where you thought they were done, and they came back and scored 3 touchdowns in the final 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Just a crazy, crazy finish in the snow, nonetheless.
Hey, did you get a chance to watch any of the Browns game yesterday? Did you see the end of it?
I did not. I've heard about it, and I was following along online, but I did not see any of the games. So it's classic Patriots, though. I mean, I feel like those guys, just like the Browns find different ways to lose, the Patriots, man, those guys, I don't know if it's luck or what, but every week it looks like they're going to lose, and then somehow they pull one, they pull one out of their hat and they come up with a win. It's crazy.
All righty. Hey, Garrett, we appreciate your time. We'll get you a free T-shirt. How's that sound?
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Did you get one already or no? You didn't get one? He doesn't care. He's out of here.
Did you get Did you get a T-shirt yet, Garrett?
I haven't, but I've got to give Risto my address, and he's going to send one.
All right.
And
we'll take
congratulations to your Bobcats. They're going to a bowl game, right?
They might be. They had a bad season, so it wasn't quite the year that people expected. But I'm still repping the OU pride nonetheless.
I
People
see
here in
that.
Maryland know.
It's all good, Garrett. All right, we'll talk to you later. All right, Eric, what do we have going on here before we go into final thoughts?
We got Betty. Betty has some thoughts she wants to share in the Browns game real quick. Then we'll go to final thoughts.
Is Betty on the phone line?
Yes.
You got to boot her up because I can't get it. My computer died. Hi, Betty.
Hi, Betty.
Hello. Oh,
Hi, Betty.
hello.
Hi,
Hi,
Betty.
Betty.
How are you? What do you think of the game yesterday?
I thought we were cheated. The call that was called in when they were trying to get that long pass from the
The pass interference call from with Tom Brady?
yeah. Why was that, and why did they let it go? How
Okay.
come we couldn't contest that?
That is the million-dollar question, and you can come to my 6 o'clock sports tonight and ask the same question. We'll probably get about 100 different responses. In a lot of ways, people feel like the Browns are snake bit. I don't think you're ever going to not get that call in New England, and unfortunately, it just happened to be the Browns that they were playing. But overall, though, I mean, I know that the end of it hurts, but what did you think about the game as a whole and how your Browns played?
I thought we were terrific. To be trying to beat them, and I was very, very excited about the whole game.
Well,
until
Betty,
the
thank you.
last 2 minutes.
Thank you for the phone call. We're right up against the top of the clock. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Have a great
Go
day.
Browns, keep it up.
Take care. All right, final thoughts, Kenny Rhoda.
The Browns are positioning themselves for a very good draft pick next year, and hopefully Mike Lombardi and Joe Banner have been doing their studying, and their scouts are scouting well so they can improve this team and find a quarterback, because that's still the one thing, even though he played well yesterday, it's still the one thing that's holding the Browns back.
Kenny, thanks for your time. We'll talk to you next week. Appreciate it.
All right, sounds good, guys. See you.
Kenny Rhoda joining us here on Dogs on the Run as he does every week. Final thought.
Until the Browns start to turn that roster into something other than a bunch of untested players because of what they're down to, and until that upper management and they start to get the guys that they want in there, we're going to have the same thing happen. I think there was a great point made yesterday, especially on that onside kick. You got so many young guys who've never been put into that situation in the NFL on the road in a game like that. To put it on Fozzie Whitaker, I mean, come on. It is what it is. And until that Browns roster starts to resemble anything more than a bunch of guys that they picked up off the street, we're going to go through the same heartache.
It's maturity, that's all. One of these days, maybe the Browns will have the respect that the New England Patriots have. But right now, they don't have it. And that's why you get into games like you have yesterday. And New England's always going to get the call, and you're not. And that's just, unfortunately, the unsaid rule of all of sports. It's not just the NFL. Superstars get superstar treatment.
Yep.
And unless you have a superstar, forget about it. And we learned it with LeBron when he was here. How many times did LeBron get away with stuff that
Not early in his career, but near the end when he was here, he did. Not early, he did.
Not early, but like you're talking about the first season.
Once they went into like by that championship season, the back-to-back championships in the Eastern Conference. Yes.
So I mean, that's where you are. It is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and criticize the officiating. I have a lot of questions, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Browns lost because of the officiating. All right, that's it for Dogs on the Run. We'll see you next week. Thanks for participating. Talk to you. Be a dog on the run.